Are you a quilter? Not just messing with you. I already know you are. That's why you're watching this video. The real question is are you a member of your local quilt guild? Maybe you've heard about all of the awesome things that quilt guilds offer to you. The potlucks, the friendship, the sewing circles, or maybe you've heard the other side of the quilt police, the cliques, and a little bit of negativity. Today in this video, we're gonna talk all about your local quilt guild and if you should join. Let's get into it. So today we're gonna talk all about what quilting guilds do for the quilting community. We're gonna talk about the red flags, we're gonna talk about the green flags, and we're also gonna talk about if you should join, skip, or maybe even start your own community. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the things that a quilt guild should do really well. These are like your green flags that say, you know what, I should really join this quilting community. The first thing is exactly that. It is the community aspect of a quilt guild. When you walk into a quilt guild, you should feel like you've walked into a room full of your friends. In-person meetings, sewing circles, you have all the different things that you get to do and the camaraderie that goes along with that. There's end of the year potlucks, there's barbecues, there's get-togethers. That's a really important part of what quilt guilds should do, is bringing all of that together so you can do something you love, which is your sewing and quilting, but also do it with your friends. The second thing that a quilt guild should do well is something for others, okay? Service is usually a very large aspect of quilt guilds. You should be able to participate in something that's going to help the community. The next green flag that you should look for in a quilt guild is the education and learning that happens between the workshops, the sew-ins, or just the show and tells. If you think about it, if you have 20 people in a room that have been quilting for 50 years, that's 1,000 years worth of experience sitting in one room, okay? The tips and tricks you can learn from everybody, the different ways to do things, the new techniques, all of those things are things that you can benefit from every single time you go to a guild meeting. The next thing I want to talk about is price. Now, you have 1,000 years of experience sitting in a room and your fee to get in was like 35 bucks a year. Quilt guilds are usually very well priced. It's 35 to 50 bucks depending on where you live for a year's membership. Now, if they ever bring someone in for a workshop, a trunk show, a class, if they bring somebody in for that, they usually charge you, let's say 20 to 40 bucks, whereas you'd go to a normal quilt store and they charge you $100, $200, $300 for the same class. As a community, you guys can lower the cost because there's enough people there that with the dues and with the things that you do as a guild to raise money, you have such a low cost in your education. So education, the tips and tricks, as well as the price, you can't beat it. Now let's talk about some of the red flags that happen in the quilt guilds. The biggest one that I've seen is you've got the quilt police and you've got kind of the cliques that happen inside of your quilt guilds. Now, nobody likes the quilt police. What that is, if you haven't heard that term, is somebody will have a quilt they've made and they say, oh, you know what? I would never have chosen that color, or I wouldn't have done my quilt that way, or your points don't quite line up, or whatever it is, okay? That's a red flag when it comes to the community you're supposed to be going to get that encouragement and to learn from, okay? So if you see that during your visit to the quilt guild, red flag. The next red flag are cliques and the we've always done it this way people, okay? Sometimes as people have their groups of friends that they've worked with in the past or they've been there forever with, cliques kind of form. Most quilt guilds are very welcoming and people come in and they welcome them and all of that, but every once in a while you get kind of those groups of people and they're not as friendly. They also kind of have the mentality sometimes that, you know, this is how we've always done it this way. We've done it this way, we're gonna continue to do it that way, and I've done it this way for 50 years and it's worked for me. That's okay for you. That doesn't mean that someone else can't do it differently. Along those same lines, there's also sometimes a little bit of gatekeeping, whereas a new person comes in, they can't get on the board because they've always done it this way, or you know what, that's fine, you can help, but you can't be in charge of it, and things like that. We don't like seeing that. Sometimes it happens, but the fact of the matter is that if you go to a guild and you see these things, it might be a red flag for you, or be the change that you want to see, make a difference, and shake things up. Red flag recap. If you walk in and people aren't friendly, if it's very cliquey and people aren't being nice, or people are just overall this kind of a negative vibe, not the quilt guild for you. So let's talk about how to vet a quilt guild. Most guilds will let you come 1 or 2 times without having to pay anything. You walk in and say, hey, I'm looking to maybe join your guild. I want to come in as a guest. They say, oh, absolutely, come on in. The reaction of how they look at that should be a good indicator of how friendly the guild is. Oh, great, wonderful, let me tell you about our programs. Come on in, let me show you what we do here. That's a good guild, okay? Go and talk to the people that are the leadership, the president, the vice president of the guild. You don't need to like interview them or anything, but give them a little question answer and see what they say about their guild there. If everybody's positive and upbeat, you found a good guild. You can also look around and see, You know, somebody holds up a quilt during show and tell and it's a very simple quilt, that's a beginner quilt and everybody claps, great. Somebody holds up a show quilt and everybody claps, great. That's the guild you want, someone that's supporting everybody that's there. Look and see what the dynamic is, make a good decision. So now let's say you've already done your research, you've gone to the guilds, you've checked things out, maybe it's just not quite right for you. Maybe they're a modern guild and you're more of a traditional quilter, maybe the people just aren't very friendly. This is the best thing you're about to hear on the internet today. You can join us here at So Yeah Quilting for our So Yeah Club online. You join it right here on YouTube. We give you so many different benefits for being a member of our club. This is my shameless plug, guys. I'm going for it, okay? We have a club day meeting the first Saturday of every month at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We have 3 different demos showing new products, new techniques, lots of learning. It's awesome. There's discounts and deals for club members as well as free gifts on that weekend, okay? So make sure you check that out. We have exclusive live sales just for our members. You get basically the behind the scenes access to everything that's going on here at So Yeah video-wise. So the filming of these videos, the retreats, everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, you get the behind the scenes and not just the polished, finished version here on YouTube, okay? You cannot get it anywhere else and you can look at it from the comfort of your home. The comfort of your own home. Say that again. The comfort of your own home, okay? If you don't have a local quilt guild or you just want to join another one, join us here, So Yeah Club Online. Don't miss out on it. So everyone, I hope you walk into your local guild and it is a welcoming, wonderful experience, okay? Go in there, have a lot of fun. And don't forget, even if you have a great guild, you can also hang out with us here, So Yeah Club Online. Check it out, join the link below, and guys, have a wonderful day. See you next time.